All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm here with a band that's relatively new to me, and I assume relatively new to the local music scene. I mean, they have. We'll get into it, I'm sure, during the conversation here. But the interviewees on this episode have a ridiculous amount of music out there on their Bandcamp page, and it seems like most of it has been released in the relatively recent past. But we're going to find out. So, I guess the best way to start this off is if the four of you want to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, and that way people can put a name to the voice. So, whoever wants to go first.
I'm Artem. I play guitar.
Sean, whatever.
Lucas. I play bass.
Generally, I write lyrics. Sometimes I do a little bit of chords, but simple chords, mostly easy chords.
That's
And
Andrew.
is this
That's
okay?
Andrew, by the way.
Right. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't name himself.
My name's Andrew. Sorry, put the voice to the voice.
The name to the voice. So is this the full lineup? Because it looks like on some of your releases you have like considerably more people involved, and depending on the recording.
It's just anybody that we're friends with is welcome.
Okay, cool. So like I said at the beginning, I mean, you seem to be very prolific. You have a release that came out a few days ago from when we're recording this. You have a live thing that came out at the end of last month. There's, at least a dozen other things there on your Bandcamp. How long has this actually been a project?
I think for like probably 5 or 6 Boys Road, 5 or 6 years. There's other bands. We had a band called Happy, but we've been writing songs like for as long as I can remember, for real long.
February 2018.
Okay.
That started the band.
Okay, so right in the middle of your band's existence, you had to deal with the pandemic and all that stuff. Did that? I'm sick of asking questions about that because everyone's, I think, done talking about it. But did that affect you guys in a major way as far as what you wanted to do as a band? I know in most cases people couldn't play shows or even get together in a lot of situations.
Honestly, no.
COVID was awful. I hated it.
Honestly, we thrive. Like me and Andrew, we're neighbors. We live next door to each other. I think so.
Probably during COVID.
Was I off? I don't know.
You were on, man.
It didn't bother me.
I think if anything, it triggered more creativity because you're inside all the time and you have to just work with what you have.
Yeah. Well, and I guess this is another shitty question that people don't like answering, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. How do you define what it is that you do? Because I think I was pleasantly surprised when I first listened to your stuff, because I try to follow like every local band I can find on social media just to sort of keep up with what's going on. And I think I had been like a few months of following you before I actually decided to go in and listen to what it was. And it was not, I don't know what I expected, but it was not what I expected. It was a lot crazier and a lot more kind of diverse and weird in a very good way. Is there a way you describe it? Like, do you have sort of a Cole's Notes way of describing what it is?
You guys want to take turns?
Yeah.
I would say we just have fun with it. Like, I think that's the priority. Do whatever we want and have fun.
I think it's very spur of the moment, that kind of thing. It's very in the moment. We'll have lyrics ready to go. Andrew always writes awesome lyrics, and we'll have we'll have all that ready to go. It's very quick, very in the moment type music, and it's just kind of whatever we think and whatever we feel, we'll put it on there.
Andrew is the man with the personality and the face and all of it.
That's false.
It can't be false, because why am I here? Everything I do is just for him.
It's embellished. It's a little wishful thinking, embellishment, nature, happiness, kind of. I'm not making any sense, but it's more like I think I'm a small part of it. I might be the face of Boys Road, but Sean is the soul.
Whatever. But okay, like genre is hard,
It is.
You just mess around.
How much of it is improvised then, I guess? Because like you're saying, a lot of it's kind of in the moment, and a lot of it seems very stream of consciousness in the lyrics as well as sort of the playing too, right? A lot of it just seems like it's very much just happening. Like, I guess a better question is, do these songs sound the same when you play them live as they do on the record, or is it different every time?
The improvised stuff we don't really do live, and if we improvise live, it's completely different.
It's actually kind of strange because I think writing the songs is a lot of improvisation and spontaneity. But when we're actually doing the songs, it's pretty much by the book, like cookie cutter, black and white, kind of just is what it is.
Okay. So is there like a big section of your catalog that isn't something you play live? I mean, some of the maybe more out there songs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hell, we've got
Yeah, there's
I think
all that.
I keep throwing around the number 300, but I think we have more than that.
yeah,
What,
there's
songs?
there's lots of stuff that is
Songs.
probably like unplayable live.
Some of it's just bad. That's a fact.
Well, are you one of those
No,
bands that
it's
just
bad.
releases everything? Then I mean, is that kind of part of the reason for the prolific nature of your Bandcamp page? Is do you just put out everything you do?
We used to more so. But yeah, I mean, it's just that song is how it is. That's, and now it's out.
I don't know if it's necessarily bad. It's just maybe not that accessible and more of a niche sort of thing, sort of songs that they wander around and they're sometimes kind of aimless, but then they try to find a destination that'll work for the individual listener.
We'll call it that.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds better than what I was saying. And but so who is this for then? I mean, I know the genre thing is hard to answer, especially with a band like this. But I mean, do you have an idea of where you belong in Winnipeg's music scene with this kind of music? Because it's hard to pin down. I mean, I think almost deliberately hard to pin down. And there's so many just kind of like cliquey nature of Winnipeg's music scene. There's the metal bands that all play shows together, and the hardcore bands, and the country bands, and folk, but whatever. Have you found somewhere that you belong? Like, are there other bands in town that you sort of feel a kinship with, whether they sound like you or not?
Hard to say. We kind of just do it for ourselves. Yeah. We all love each other very much, and we like to make each other laugh, and that's a huge part of it.
We do.
Yeah, I can see that. The laughing.
It is worth mentioning that Real Love has hooked us up with pretty much all of our shows, so that's kind of been our scene.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. What's the reception then from people in that scene? Like, I mean, I don't think that this is necessarily what they're expecting from going to one of those shows with the other bands on the bill, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel we're a big left turn when you come to any of the shows that were on the bill and you see the other bands and then we come on and it's like this is very different, which is a good thing, which I really appreciate. That's something that we do, and it's a good thing to be different. That's what I've always felt.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I still think we can hold our own though. Like I listen to us and I think like, yeah, we could play this show or this venue or this maybe bigger stage to more people. I think the future is still going to be better than what we've done already. I think the best is yet to come.
Well, with some of these more kind of improvised sounds and things like that, do you feel like, I mean, if you listen back to the older stuff you did, when you started out as a band, you listen and then compare it to the stuff you're doing now, what kind of sonic progress, I guess, have you made as a band, from sort of, the beginnings to where you are today?
We had full albums recorded on an 8-track app on my iPhone 6.
Yeah, that'll make a difference. Yeah.
And now we've got a lot of technology. Yeah.
I'm trying to make my lyrics more into stories that have like a narrative, a beginning, middle, and end that something can hook on and people can listen to it and make sense of something. It used to just all be random things that I would find. I did a lot of reading and I do research for my songs, but I'm trying to do that more now.
Well, I found it interesting too that all the songs had lyrics on the Bandcamp, which for something that is more experimental, it's not something you expect to see. So that was kind of cool that was just right there to listen along with, read along with as you're listening.
Cool. Yeah.
I guess how important is that for the listeners to actually, be able to know what you're saying and know what the song's about?
As far as I'm concerned, without Andrew's lyrics, we're not here. The entire point is to know what he's saying. Hi, buddy.
Got visitors here.
My roommate.
Oh, right on, right on.
And
So
his
what's
girlfriend.
so you just put out a release, I guess a few days ago from when we're recording this, and the first thing I noticed on listening to it was just like the excessive amount of autotune used in a very the humor aspect of it is definitely there. There's like this weird rendition of the American national anthem, and it's which I thought was great. But is that something that, like, why autotune? I mean, is it just because it's a ridiculous tool at your disposal, or?
Yeah, that's only on 2 songs, and it's because I got a cool little thing from work, and it has a auto tune on it, and we've never done it, so we played.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun little thing about that Star Spangled Banners. That's me singing that.
Okay.
And really with this new album that we put out for Brand New Spanking Man, we rented a cabin for a weekend and we recorded that album within the whole weekend. And Sean had that basically it's like this, what is it? It's like an interface box
I don't know.
effects thing.
It's from China. It's really cheap.
Yeah, but he had the thing and had a bunch of different effects, and it had this auto tune effect, and you could pick the key on there. And I sang Star Spangled Banner in E flat, but the setting was set to F major, so it did this very weird pitch shifting thing, and it's quite funny. It was really funny to hear it come out, because when it was coming through the monitor, you couldn't really hear it, and I just sang the thing, and then we heard it back, and we rolled on the floor laughing. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting version.
Well, I will say this: Lucas certainly is technically, I'd say, more advanced in terms of his vocal range and his ability to sing melodies and stuff. Again, I want to just emphasize that I'm the poet.
He is the poet.
That's true.
He is the poet.
Yeah, that seems to have been pretty well established, I think, from the very beginning of this.
He's
So,
scared.
do you bring the songs? Do you bring the lyrics to the band, and then you guys kind of develop things from there, or do lyrics come after the music's been created?
The lyrics come first. I have like hundreds of pages of lyrics on my laptop.
Okay. Well, then, with that many songs and that many lyrics to kind of sift through, how do you determine whether a song is right for this band? I mean, how do you decide from those hundreds of pages of lyrics which ones suit this project?
It's my only band at the moment.
Okay, well, how do you choose the ones then? Because you're not doing, or maybe you are doing all 100 pages worth of songs, but I mean, for this album, for example, how did you decide which songs were sort
That
of the
was
ones you could
all.
use?
That was all done at the cabin.
Okay.
There weren't any pages we didn't use. That varies. That question, like the answer to that question, varies a lot. All of us filter. Andrew filters himself. We cut lines. We cut verses. We move them around. He reads them out. I write them down. I mishear things. He misreads them as he's singing them. It's all just everywhere.
Cool. So becomes a group effort after they're initially brought into the. That makes
A
sense.
lot of times it is a group effort. Well, more so it's him, but yeah.
Was the oh, sorry, go ahead.
I like writing lyrics and I like collaborating, but it's also something I do on my own because I have lots of problems and I just like putting it on the page and seeing it later and it makes me smile.
That's healthy.
Yeah, it sounds healthy actually. Yeah. Was the cabin thing? Did you specifically go there to record this? Like, was that the point of going to the cabin?
Yes.
And did that give you a different sort of vibe than where you'd recorded before?
I think so. It was,
You say no to that.
yeah, because we were there for what, 3 days almost, just together all the time, basically hanging out and working on music. That's all we did.
If we went somewhere else, it would have been completely different. Definitely.
Yeah, and it also gave us the opportunity, to make a lot of noise in a space where, I mean, normally where we normally record, we can make a decent amount of noise, but other people live in the house, and it's just, we were all it was good just to have that space dedicated to just making the album and hanging out and doing all that.
Is that something you're hoping to do again? Like the similar kind of idea where you have just the ability to do whatever it is you need to do over a period of time?
Well, yeah. We're doing it again in August, actually.
Okay. You already have enough songs for another one?
Well, no, we went out there with nothing.
Oh, okay. You
know?
wrote there too. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, just came up with everything when we were out there.
Another idea I thought would be kind of cool is going on a road trip to the West Coast, and in every small town that looks interesting, we just sit there and write a song.
That is a cool idea. Yeah, it's a cool idea. So what's the reception been to this record now? I mean, I know it's only been out for a few days at the time we're recording this, or a week or so, but what kind of response have you got from it so far?
I've heard nothing so far.
Nothing. Well, that's
actually.
better than
Yeah,
bad
nobody
news, I guess,
told
right?
me anything.
It's been positive from Post, where he said the beats were great and my lyrics were some of the better ones that he's heard of mine.
Oh yeah, Colin liked it.
Okay.
He's
Well,
a good
that's
friend of ours.
Yeah, like friends of ours like it. They think it's funny.
well, that's what you want, right? That sounds like who you're making it for is for yourselves and your friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's positive.
Scared? No. Okay.
There's some kind of internal discussion going on here. What's sort of the next step here? Because I mean, I again, you have this kind of mountain of music that's been released. You have this new record that's just come out. What is the I guess the goal for the rest of the year for you guys? Are you hoping to play more shows? Are you planning on doing a lot more recordings? I know you mentioned there's more recording coming up. What's the next steps here?
All of that. All of that is very fun to us. Yes.
Yeah, more shows, more recording. No shows planned as of right now, but hopefully we'll find something.
We thought about just going and playing all the venues that nobody else wants to play.
Like which ones?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
We didn't research yet. We didn't research yet.
It's just an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you could probably depending on what the event is, you could probably find a way to make yourselves fit in to whatever event, just based on the the weirdness of what you're doing. I think you could.
I think we've done like kind of rap rock, hard rock, blues, jazz, alt country. Like we've been around that.
Yeah.
Dig.
Well, where can people hear you? I mean, again, I know I listen to a bunch of this on Bandcamp. Are any of these records, especially the newest one, are they out in any other format other than streaming, or is that where you're putting all your music these days?
Newer ones, no. We've got some CDs of some old ones, but you have to ask me nicely if you want one.
Right. Okay.
We have some merchandise, like we have Boys Road shirts that look very nice. I think we have like 4 or 5 different designs. They're pretty cool. And we have the book, the Bible.
You have a book.
Yeah.
What's the book? What's the story behind the book?
It's the lyrics for the first to the 30th or so albums.
And this is like a printed book form?
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And then I assume all the stuff's on the various streaming services and whatnot as well?
Like all the music?
Yeah.
I didn't put everything. There's some stuff in
Okay.
the Bandcamp that's like, no. So I'm going to leave it in the Bandcamp.
Right on.
Can we talk about influences?
Yeah, if you want to, absolutely. What? Yeah, sure. Let's see. Well, I mean, okay, maybe that's hard to pin down because of kind of the difficulty in identifying what your sound is. So maybe a good way to start that is: are there artists that all of you agree with? Like, are there certain bands that you all sort of can cite as an influence, or is it radically different between the 4 of you?
Subtly different. I think Sean might want to say a few words about Ween.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say. I like Ween a great deal.
I can see Ween being part of it.
A bunch of us like Ween. I'm still not sure how Andrew feels about them.
Yeah, I'm still getting into it.
Well, what else? Who would you say are kind of the main influences then on the project other than Ween?
I just do a lot of reading, and a lot of it comes from that. I'm thinking like maybe some Jack Kerouac. Who else do I read in terms of poetry? I don't read much poetry. I read a lot of nonfiction, and like I try to write songs about like, I don't know, police officers or accountants or magicians or wizards, and a lot of what I read goes into the lyrics.
Andrew really likes Guided by Voices.
That's true.
And Neutral Milk Hotel.
Yeah, definitely. I like the fact that the guys in Guided by Voices are all in their 60s and they're still playing shows all around the country. And they're very prolific. I think Robert Pollard, the lead singer of Guided by Voices, has written like 2,000, 3,000 songs. So it's something to aspire to.
Yeah, definitely.
And in terms of Neutral Milk Hotel, I just like the fact that it's kind of like modern folk music. Like it's very simple, but lyrically it's very imaginative and metaphorical and lots of good wordplay. And I appreciate that. And the fact that it's simple, because I like simple music.
Yeah. Well, simple music doesn't have to be, it can be simple on the surface, right? And there can be more going on with the lyrics or musically or like that people can pick up on after 3rd, 4th, 5th listen. And yeah.
If it's quality, simple music, hopefully people go back to Boys Road and they interpret things that they didn't before, and they see new meanings that might not have been, like you're saying, like visible on the surface.
Yeah, totally. What is the significance behind the name? Because I think that's where I was thrown, because there's a lot of bands. I think I was confusing you with an emo band in Winnipeg that was around like 10 years ago called Boys Club.
Boys Club. My friend Sebastian plays in that band.
Yeah. He's been on my show before years ago, but I think I was just confusing the name there, and I was like, okay, well, what is? I saw you had a new record, and I clicked on it, and it was like, this is not the band that I thought it was. So what's
Yeah.
the deal with Boys Road? What does it mean?
I actually didn't come up with it. I think Sean and Paul did.
Well, we saw it. It's a real road. It's kind of by Transcona. We
Okay.
go there sometimes to think.
I had thought that there was a like an SUV or some sort of big transportation 18-wheeler long haul contraption that said Boyd Road on the side.
Yeah, I think our friend Paul saw it in the back of a truck initially. Yes, and it just clicked. And Andrew got so excited when he first heard it, he just started to sing.
That's true. I sang a song. I've been driving days down the Boys Road, and then that was it. And then 400 songs later, we're talking to you.
Right on. And then as far as like finding out about upcoming shows and things like that, this is a podcast someone could hear it the day it comes out, or they could hear it a year from now. What's the best way to sort of keep up on what's going on with Boys Road as far as new stuff?
We only have Instagram, really.
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to run something else, they can. But yeah, Instagram.
There's Instagram, and then all the releases, they all get posted to Bandcamp first, and then they hit streaming a little bit later.
So Bandcamp is where you'd want to do. You probably want people to go to Bandcamp anyway, right? Because you get at least something out of it.
Yeah, I forgot you can follow artists on Bandcamp as well. Yeah, Bandcamp's always first.
I was just saying, in terms of writing lyrics, usually I multitask. Like I got a box punching bag, and I'll like write lyrics for 10 minutes, do the punching bag for 10 minutes, and then sometimes, well, no, that's inappropriate. I won't go there.
Is there a starting point for someone who has never heard you before? Maybe they're hearing you for the first time on the show, and you have a pretty daunting catalog of stuff on Bandcamp, especially. Would you just direct them to check out the most recent release, or is there sort of a key release in that catalog that would be a good starting point for Boys Road?
Boy Golden, I think, is a good start.
Golden Boy.
Yeah, that's not ours. That's a different guy. Or YouTube.
He said Boy Golden.
Or YouTube. We have music
Just go listen
videos.
to another artist.
Yeah.
Go listen to someone else.
That's a good question. What's up?
Probably not. Go to YouTube.
Just check out the music videos.
And like the
Yeah,
shows.
like there's not one full album that I think just a random person would just like a lot,
Yeah.
You gotta explore.
There's a lot there to explore too.
We have 2 greatest hits albums. That might be a good starting point.
Are they actually greatest hits albums? Like, or are they actually compilations of your old stuff? Or
Yeah.
what are they called? Are they just called greatest hits?
Greatest hits and more great hits.
Okay, that should be pretty easy to find. Right on. Cool.
It's on the Bandcamp.
It's on the Bandcamp. Excellent.